Yo, what's good everyone? Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm quite sick, so my voice is kind of gone. And it's probably going to be cracking every 2 seconds, so I apologize in advance for that. Um, anyways, so today we're going to be once again playing the Dark Magician version of Chaos. I think this deck is very powerful, but I did make one change, and it's the fact that I'm not showcasing Dark Paladin anymore. I'm actually playing the correct card for this deck, which is the Victim Sact. I went on a 10-win streak and then I stopped playing. This is disgusting. And this against like meta decks. And I think 3 duels. I went first, they saw Chaos and they scooped. But I still count it because if they scooped it up, then they most likely couldn't beat the deck, right? That's why they scooped. Unless they just don't want to play, but then I can't tell, right? It was taking a lot of time to actually find duels as well, because no one wants to play meta for some reason. And the decks I played against were like Elvnotes, Chaos, Sky Strikers, lots of Sky Strikers. And I think I played one duel against Ars Magna as well. Which is interesting because some of them were just TCG decks, like current TCG, and then some were pre-release TCG. So it's like a mix. It's not like a proper showcase of what pre-release TCG meta would look like. But anyways, I replaced the Dark Paladin with the Victim Sact, and this is obviously a lot better in my opinion because you can summon this with Dragoon, but if you play Dark Paladin, you either summon Dragoon or Dark Paladin to break a board, and that's not good enough, right? So I felt like the Victim Sact actually had way more value, and it was checking my opponents. So yeah, and then aside from this, that's pretty much it. I didn't really change anything. I feel like people don't respect my Mirror Force. They're still playing like slop combos with like 10,000 negates. I don't know why. You know, like people just don't respect this card whatsoever, and they get super punished by it. And yeah, let's hop straight in. So let's watch. How about we start off with oh, which one is it actually? Oh, it's this one. Okay, let's start with Elvnotes here. Wait, this is not the guy actually. Okay, there were lots of Elvnotes. There's 3 Elvnotes actually. Maybe this one? Yes, this was the one, yeah. Okay, so we have double 4, and then we have a starter with Corrupted Ritual, and then we have one dead card. I would not count this as a dead card, because against Ars Magna, this is actually very powerful. If you guys remember the continuous spell, this one, when it activates the, when it's on the field, I mean, it can make all the Ars Magna's quick effects. So if you go Spell Shattering Sword, you use the first effect, which doesn't usually come up that often, but in cases like this, actually very good. You're gonna nuke it, and then what's gonna happen is that is gonna turn off all their quick effects. So they're no longer quick effects. So they could lose out on 2 to 3 interruptions. Not interruptions, because like the cat only draws, but at least 2 powerful interruptions, which can banish your back row, and then one can banish one of your monsters. So it would hit Mind Shuffle, which would be very bad, but this stops it. So, yeah, I mean, because we have double 4, it's actually not bad, unless... actually, even if we get Cold Bite, we can just chain another one, so it should be fine. Unless he has Ash Gold, which he doesn't, thank god. So, I let him go for this, because there's nothing really summon up the Theorize itself, and you also probably want to trigger it, but then he adds the Elvnotes Power Patron, and I'm like, okay. He normal summons it, and I still wait, because I was thinking there's no way he plays a Synchro 5. There's no good Synchro 5s in the deck, unless you play like Synchron with this deck, which you definitely don't. So I didn't think he was playing Synchro 5, but he was, so this is fine. I was waiting for him to activate the effect so that he can go into the Seraphim, probably this one, and then he can revive the level 1, then he can go into a Synchro 8, and then we don't know what he's playing, like Ecclesia Synchro, small Albaz package, whatever. But from there you can play, right? So I made the correct choice still by not activating 4, and then he goes Tenia, activates this, and then adds, and then he is gonna banish, and then add, and then we're gonna Fu out, and then wait for the other 4, and then he's gonna draw, give us draw 1, and he doesn't know about the second 4, so now he actually gives us draw 2. So we draw into Farah and Mind Shuffle, okay. And then he actually passes, because if he continues synchroing and playing, he's gonna lose. Top deck Albaz, crazy. So what does he have even? Like he has, I guess, like 1 interruption with this. If I even trigger this, yeah, that's insane. We basically just completely actually, I guess, never mind. He has 4 interruptions because the where is it? Junora, is that what it's called? The June Pride is 3 interruptions here. So we're gonna go Corrupted Ritual first, and then we're gonna add a Swordman, and then he's gonna trigger to draw 1. So let's see what he draws into. He draws into another Lucina. That's fine. So he can summon Lucina, he can summon the Tinia, and then he can summon from deck the Fortuna. Oh, it's on the top of the deck anyway, so yeah. Now, here, what I do is I go Farah, reveal Mind Shuffle. And if I was him, I would shit my pants here, because I lose. GG. Once you see Farah reveal Mind Shuffle, and they have a way to access Mind Shuffle, it's over. He summons all 3, and he's just desperately trying to snipe something, and there's nothing to snipe. Snipes the Luster, which is fine. You place this, and then you have player priority to activate Mind Shuffle first, and they can't respond to it. So then you add, and then you can discard Farah if you want, but I don't think I actually make that play because these are not threatening to me. So I'm going to do this because this is the better play. It's going to turn on my Spell Shattering Sword, and I can negate one of his cards if I want to. The Fortuna, for example, what I can do is if he triggers the Fortuna, so he can spin this back to the hand, I can chain Spell Shattering Sword, reveal the ritual spell I'm about to mill for cost in the grave, and then negate it. But I actually didn't care about him spinning back Mind Shuffle. I actually wanted to negate this so Albaz goes through. Then if he has a hand trap, I can stop it with the Victim Sight. So I want the Albaz stuff to resolve. So I let him spin it back, and then I go Ritual Spell, add back the Swordman. Go Albaz Summon, and then he can't trigger this to spin back. We go Victim Sight. And GG. I also didn't know this. If your opponent synchros, you also draw a card. That's kind of insane. And he draws into another Lucina, which is hilarious. What's his deck anyway? He plays this in main? Okay. So we're gonna go Ritual Flight in Dark, and then we tribute the Farah, and he scoops. He sees, yeah, Farah, Mind Shuffle is super disgusting. What's the highest attack? I can steal his Lucina here. Yeah. And then we have Lucina, Farah, this, and then I can go into like D-Mod, and we can continue playing. We're not locked into anything, and we have lethal with the D-Mod line. Nice. And then this is game 2. So he is gonna go Medius, summon the Elvnotes, and then he goes into Librarian again. So this time he has Ash Blossom. Unfortunately, we have drawn double Mind Shuffle here. Our hand is just Mind. Mind Mirror Force, Mind Shuffle, Mind Shuffle. Yeah. So he is gonna generate a lot of advantage by just drawing a lot of cards here. Goes into the Seraphim, and then he's gonna revive, and they go into a Synchro 8, Excel, okay. What does he make here, actually? Draws into a Jolan Blackbird, okay. And then more Ashes. Goes Don Dragster, draws another card, and then he passes, okay. I don't know why you would activate this immediately, maybe he didn't know, I don't know. Does it make a difference? Definitely not, because Mind Mirror Force is gonna destroy him anyway. So I just needed another play aside from Albaz, because I don't want to normal summon Albaz, and then I was 100% suspecting he has at least Ash, and then another hand trap. So if he had Ash and he goes Ash on Fallen of Whites, if I call by, he can negate with this, or this. And then Mind Mirror Force is gonna be like, you know, actually, wait. Oh yeah, actually, I was thinking yes. So if I go for this, he goes Ash, I go Call By on Ash, and then he negates it with this. And then if I chain Mind Mirror Force, he can go for this, revive, and still negate the Call By. So that's what I was afraid of. So it's a good thing we draw into this, or just anything that can bait him out. I wanted something like Curtain, but yeah, this works. So he's gonna summon here, loses out on the negate, so now we can special summon the Ecclesia, trigger the effect, and he did have Ash. Perfect, because now I can destroy his whole field without having to play into any hand traps. And GG. tries to negate, doesn't work, nuke everything, and then we can summon Albaz. Albaz is full combo. You can see we didn't special summon Albaz, we normal summoned it because we don't want to be locked, and I can full combo. I can't attack directly, but I can full combo with the DMod line without having to worry about anything. And then I can go Zena, dump the, what do you call it? The Albion if I want, or I can add back the Albaz and then activate it from hand, the special, dumping the Albion. So we're gonna go 3 Grave Sword Souls, we're gonna add the Cartesia, then he draws, we call by it, and then we can add back call by with the Black Chaos later. We go Cartesia, he scoops. Nice. And then this was a different Elvnote player, he also scooped, but let's see. So goes Lucina, he's gonna add, we're gonna activate Fua, because this in the draw window, I could draw him if I want to, then he doesn't draw, so I'm gonna do this. Activate to add, and then he actually draws himself here. And I'm like, okay. So we do lose out on the add, and we also lose out on the full loss, unfortunately. I really didn't think he would draw himself here, but okay. Maybe I'll just keep that in mind for in the future. That, you know, they might be able to put up like a good board under the draw. So this is not bad under draw because he also has 2 hand traps here. So I'll see how we beat this. So we're gonna activate the Ritual of Light and Dark first. We're gonna add back the Grifo. Activate Grifo. Now this is checkmates on this because with Spell Sharpening Sword we win here. This card's so good. We're gonna shuffle back his Elvnotes level 1s just in case he wants to revive and then go into like the June Pride. He would have to trigger this on an empty field and he loses out on the negate. So we're gonna revive and then we can normal summon Droll and Lockbird, go into Relinquished Anima, and then we can go SP, force out the trap, and then we can also trigger this to add Chainlink blocking the Ash Blossom. Then he goes Veiler, so I'm like, okay, now I can go SP on this, and now his entire board is outed pretty much. But he also has Ogre. But this means like he can't Ogre my Mind Shuffle now. So he's gonna do this, and now I can just add. And now he tries to negate, we go Spell Sharpening Sword, negate this, we fully checkmated him. Then we have all of these in hand as well. So yeah, nice. And also watch this one against a 60 card Chaos deck. So I'm going first. We're gonna go Souls, dump the Swordman. Now, Souls is a 2-card combo, so if you have like the Ritual Fight and Dark in hand, you can just dump this, and you can go Ritual Fight and Dark, dump this with the draw 1, and you dump the Swordman with the first effect. Then you go Ritual Spell, add this back, and you have full combo basically. So this is what we're doing here. Activate Mind Shuffle, and because I already have a Mind Shuffle in hand, what I can do is I can actually access Bara and then reveal Mind Shuffle. Without having to go Souls, send this. So we go for Demod, and then we can go Curtain, summon OG. Now, he actually nibs me, so this actually ruins my line, but I like to always go Gaze on this because it can't be used as link material for some of the stuff that I need. And then at the same time, you can also use the effect to burn in case they go Nibiru. So now we can actually burn him for 3k and also destroy the nib. Then we can go Magna Hunt on his nib, and then we can add a Black Scale Dragon the Enfys, draw 3 with Celtic. That was really bad. We can draw Chaos, go into Chaos Angel, banish the token, summon Albaz. We're locked into 1 summon from that deck. We already summoned this, so we can't synchro here. But we get the Albion engraved, and we can summon the Archfiend, and then summon the Luster, and then we can do this. Summon Albaz. Now I did this just so I can get the Ecclesia engraved, so I add it back for the Dragoon to have a negate. And then we can add Skull Dragon, and we can add this back, and we can set a Fallen Virtuous. Okay, so he goes Brandon has. I'm really scared of High Spirits because I think High Spirits has so much value. Now in this, like, this is not a good High Spirits in my opinion. Okay, what was he even like High Spirit? He's sending Coritis, I guess, for like on this. Maybe he was sure that I would negate, but I would negate because if he sends Archfiend, he gets both the Archfiend and he gets access to Albaz. That's very insane. So I have to negate this. He can't activate another one if I negate. So we're gonna add the Black Chaos, discard this. Now I did this because we already have 2 ritual spells in the graveyard, so I can't go add Archfiend. So then he goes for this. Now I'm gonna chain the Mind Shuffle to summon, and then this confirms to me that he doesn't have Ogre or a Fallen Virtuous at the moment. So then he goes Elbow with my cards, which is fine, and then he goes Celtic Mystic. We're gonna do this and banish this because he actually revealed his hand to me, and he showed me he has this, so I don't want him to trigger this effect to summon this. And then he... At this point, I actually knew his entire hand, because he showed me his hand, which was Luster, Grifo, and I think something else. Nadir Servant, yep. And then he drew 3, and he discarded these 2. So these were new cards, which means there's only one unknown, which was Droll and Lockbird. So the rest of the hand was just known, and then he goes for this play. He goes Dogmatic Ecclesia. Now he actually has access to this, which can spin back one of my cards. Surprisingly, he doesn't spin back my Mind Shuffle. I don't know why or how, like, he knew, but I have another Mind Shuffle set. Maybe he thought I did, so that's why he didn't shuffle it back. He goes for the Fallen Virtuous instead. Which was public knowledge, right? So I'm actually going to steal his Nibiru here. Now, you don't want to pop his cards because they don't do anything. If I steal Nib, then I already know he has Fallen Virtuous because he added it with this. Now if I spin this back, he goes FNB, I can spin back his Nibiru to his hand and then summon my card. And then it's going to protect my Mind Shuffle. So yeah, then he is going to go send Archfiend, and then he's going to add a Black Chaos. I still know his entire hand here, minus the Droll. So he's going to go FNB, pop the Chaos Angel, which is the correct play, because I was thinking maybe he doesn't, and he doesn't know. Because there's really no proper out to Chaos Angel except with Fallen Virtuous in this deck. Unless he plays like some other stuff, I don't know. I guess Dogmatic Punishment can't send it. Because of this, I think. Let's see. Yes, equal or higher. So he can send like his own Chaos Angel to out this. It's not really a great punishment, but yeah. So I'm gonna summon the Luster. He's gonna trigger this, shuffle back my cards. I think he thought I sent Albion this turn, but it was actually last turn. It's because I used my FNB, but I used it to revive. I didn't send the Albion. So we're gonna spin back the Luster, and then we can summon a Black Chaos because he was targeting it, and then he can attack. But this is not lethal, so I'm actually fine with this. I think someone was spectating our duel, and he was, you know, he was like making fun of me for something. For some reason, he was like, "Your deck is ass" or something. Because he thought, like, I lost here, and I was like, bro, what are you talking about? Well, I win this duel. So he banishes Mind Shuffle, fine, and then sets FNB, he has Droll in hand, and GG. Once you, like, the goal of this deck is not to put up 10,000 interruptions and lose to Mind Mirror Force and, like, all these cards. The actual goal of this deck is set up so much follow-up and have so many layers of disruption, and recursion, that your goal is to survive. If you survive your opponent's turn after you go first, you win on turn 3 100%. Well, not 100%, 99% of the time you win. Maybe we'll just leave room for that, you know, 0.1%. So he's gonna add a Celtic, and then he's gonna discard it because he doesn't want to discard Droll. Okay. Why not? There's actually nothing to add here. So first thing I do is actually go Archfiend. Archfiend shuffles back my Gaze of Timaeus, my Dragoon, and then my Black Chaos. Now everything is back. I already added Curtain with the Black Chaos on his turn. So this is game over. Look at this. We go Summon Ecclesia, we go Albaz, and then we revive. He doesn't know what we're going into. He thinks we're going Ecclesia Synchro, but no. We're going Victim Sanct, and Victim Sanct checks his plays here. Now I have player priority to activate first, so every single chance I get, I'm activating first, and he can't respond to me because he would die to this. So I'm going to immediately activate Curtain, and then he can't respond. We summon Dark Magician, add Gaze, immediately activate Gaze. Now you're checked, because if you respond, I negate. Actually, wait, can he can Droll here, right? But if he Drolls, I negate it with this. So I think what he should have done is activate Fallen Virtuous on this, and then I chain this, and then he chains Droll. He actually doesn't change role at all for some reason. I don't know why. Why wouldn't you change role? Is there a reason for that? Maybe he missed the toggle or something? I don't see why you would be... Does he have targets to send with? Yeah, he does. So this is still live. I don't know why he didn't activate this, to be honest. So now we're gonna add... Now he draws, but now we can victim sancts. And he's just... Yeah, GG. Then we can just activate Ritual Spell and he scoops here. Because this was actually lethal. I also summoned this off OG Dark Magician, so I can actually pop and burn one of his cards. Which could be like one of these, and that's 25. Leaving him at only 2500. And then I can swing over the other cards. I can also bounce this face down and just destroy his entire board here. It's just over. There's nothing he can do. Nice. Then we can watch this one against Chaos Dracotail. So in the draw phase, we're going to add a Black Skull Dragon. I was thinking maybe add Celtic Mystic, but I actually wanted Skull instead. So we're going to go dump Farah, and then, yeah, this is game over. Once you see dump Farah, send Mind Shuffle to the grave, yeah, GG. If you don't have any hand traps, it's over. So we're going to send the Ritual Spell with the Black Skull Dragon and then get it back, so that we can activate it, go Black Chaos. And then we can add back the Ritual Spell again. We're just looping the Black Skull Dragon. I mean the Light and Darkness Ritual. And then we can go Cross Chief, Gaze of Timaeus. Summon the Dragoon, and then we can revive the souls, go into Protect, Code Talker, Firewall, add back the Farah that we milled with the souls, and then we can reveal Mind Shuffle, and we win. Once you make that play, it's just like so insanely hard for your opponent to win. Summon Magna Hut as well, just so we can get another Black Skull Dragon in the end phase. We can also add Albaz if we want to. I actually made a misplay here in my combo. I shouldn't have summoned Skull Archmage, should have been anything else. Because I should have activated this from grave, so I don't have to summon this from hand. Because I needed to shuffle back my Black Chaos. So then what would happen is he can't respond to Mind Shuffle, right? And I would have this in my hand, and this would be on the field. So what I would do is I would add, and then discard this, and I can get to add both my rituals. And then I would, yeah, have both. So that was definitely my mistake here, summoning this. I won't make that mistake again. So we are gonna add a Black Chaos. We're gonna revive the Farah. So we have 2 level 7s. He goes High Spirits. I'm not letting High Spirits resolve here. No way. So he goes Lucaeus. We are gonna banish it, just in case he has Femina. Okay, so he added Malulu, which tells me he probably had Kitu or Rahul. Goes Kitu Dragontail. We're gonna summon Black Chaos. Okay, then he triggers both of these, but I think he thought he can trigger Gulumal as well, but he can't because he has player priority, so he triggers his cards first, and then I can trigger mine, so I can actually add off this, which means this is gonna be not live here. So then he can set a flame, and then he attempts to pop, doesn't work, attempts to negate my Black Chaos, doesn't work, and then he scoops. Yep. Game 2. This is actually him. So he is gonna make his Chaos plays here. Okay. I haven't seen anyone play this deck before. I mean, I've tried it myself, but I don't think it's good. Like, there are some things you might think are, like, kind of cool with Chaos Dracotail, but it doesn't actually work. It's not a real combo. Well, it's not like a real deck. Like, one of the only cool interactions is, like, you can Femina with, like, the Archfiend, I guess, to go into, like, your Dracotail cards, but it's not really that great, to be honest. So we're gonna activate Albaz to special summon, and then he can trigger to banish, which forces out the Luster. And then if he has Femina, we actually have Celtic. We have the Coldbine. Then we go Celtic Mystic to draw 3. Now we're locked into 1 summon from the X deck. We draw into Curtain, and we win. Even with 1 card from the X deck, we win here because we still have the Victim Sact, which he didn't stop. He didn't have Horn here. Does he play the Horn? Because I feel like a lot of people don't even play Horn anymore, just Stink. Yeah, he doesn't even play it. It's just Stink. So I made the correct call, putting them in attack. Now this was fine, but like the Albaz could have been in defense, but I put it in attack because if he spins it back, it's actually a waste. It doesn't matter. I can just, you know, keep it in hand. Who cares? And then normal Celtic Mystic. So then we can go for Dark Magician, add Gaze, and then he goes for this. We're going to Cold Bite, and then if he responds, we go Victim Sack, Negate. And then he scoops. Like you can see, Victim Sack is really insane compared to Dark Paladin, and they're both competing for that slot, and Victim Sack is like 100% better, in my opinion, in the deck at the moment. And then we have Sky Striker. So we're gonna go first. We're gonna go Swordman, Mind Shuffle, Archfiend, Black Chaos. And then we can go Souls, dump another Swordman. And then we can send these two to the grave because I already have Farah, so I can actually add back and then go Farah, reveal Mind Shuffle. And once again, we win. Yeah, it's so disgusting. This play should get banned, I'm not gonna lie. I think it's way too uninteractive. But I love it. I mean, for me, like, I would love to have this, obviously. But for the health of the game, if I was being fair, objectively, like, I think it's just unfair, right? Excuse me. So we go Zena, and then we can dump the, you can see we dump Albion here. I don't think that was correct, because I already have, like, the Fallen of White in hand anyway, so this can dump it, actually. I think I just forgot, and there was also just nothing to send. I guess Magna Huts? I mean, kind of. And then you can add Albaz for, like, a Fallen turn, but there's really nothing much to send. Maybe I should play, like, one card that is, like, guaranteed win, so that we can make that, when we make that line, we go Zena dump, and then revive it back with the Charmers. But it has to be either a Spellcaster or a Dark, so it can also revive Dragoon. It's something I want revived alongside Dragoon when they don't need the Magna Huts. And I don't want it to be a brick either. It should be a card that has value. So then we can go Victim Sack, we can also draw through. This like mega combo, like how do you beat this? We literally did everything. Far Reveal Mind Shuffle, we have Victim Sack, we drew 3. We have this, we have Dragoon, we have, they can be super poly, these by the way. Chaos has whatever, Spell Shattering Sword, Mind Shuffle. The Black Skull Dragon, and then we have infinite follow-up here. Follow-up, and then like this Archfiend, this, which we can add back with the Black Chaos. Like it's just disgusting there. And the Fallen Virtues, of course. And we have an Ecclesia to discard with the Dragoon. So basically, what I was thinking is like if he plays Droplet, let's see if he does actually. He does. So in the case where he plays Droplet, what you want to do is, like I've said in all my previous videos, anytime they activate anything, just keep chaining Mind Shuffle, and then that means they have to send the spells from the hand for Droplets. So the Droplet can negate these two. That is very, like, low value for them, that play, and it could actually just be something they cannot even afford to make. Because they want to activate the cards and then send them with Droplets. So if you make that play where you cut the chain every time with Mind Shuffle, and they can't respond, it's really disgusting. So let's see if he actually drew into Droplet here. He did not, so we're gonna once again activate it, spin it back, summon the I actually made a misplay. I added Skull Archfiend and then I realized I have both ritual spells in the graveyard. So I should have added the Luster immediately. So then he's gonna attempt to negate, and I was thinking he probably has Droplet here, which is why he used this here. And then I'm gonna spin it back. Summon the Swordman. It would cut the chain, so this is a waste. And then he goes MST, we spin it back, cut the chain again. Summon Black Chaos. Like, he just can't win. There's no way he can do anything here. He literally just cannot play the game. Hold on. Maybe there's a way for him to play it. Let's see. So he has two Sky Striker cards. This is the third, and then he can activate this. Target an equal number of Sky Striker Ace monsters and spells. Shuffle them into the for every card. You can return up to one card on the field to the hand. Yeah, but this would not work because I have Dragoon to negate it. And then if he also responds with anything, like I can also just go Victim Sack. If I like negate one of his other cards and then he chains this, like Victim Sack negates it as well. But I'm not gonna waste my Dragoon here. I'm just gonna keep it. Once again, we cut the chain, and then we are gonna summon the Swordman. adds and draws again, and then he goes for Hornet. We're gonna spin back, got the chain, summon the Black Skull Dragon, and then he skips. He's just like, fuck off, bro. There's nothing I can do. Then game 2. Okay, this guy actually plays Lord of the Heavenly Prison, which is gonna be protecting all your back row. This doesn't matter because we banish anyway, we don't pop. Okay, so he's gonna draw, he has Called by the Grave. I hate that card so much. Okay, so fortunately I have Bell, which I sided in, and we top deck a Curtain. Curtain, I love you, Curtain. I love you. Alright, so we can go Cartesia. Now, my hand was not good enough to actually beat this until we top deck the Curtain. This is how insane this card is. It changes the matchup like crazy. So we are gonna normal summon the Blazing Cartesia, and then look at this. We go Curtain, summon OG from hand. Unfortunately, it was in hand, but whatever. Goes Call by and Swordman. There's no way I let that go through. So I have to negate this with Bell. He goes for the Shark Cannon for some reason, whatever. Place Mind Shuffle we can add. He spins back, but he doesn't have enough, I think. He only has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess not 6, 7 really. I guess he could have spun back 2 cards. Which should he have done that? I don't think so. I don't think it makes that much of a difference. Actually, because you have double of these, maybe you should spin this back as well. So he only spins back the Mind Shuffle, which is whatever. And then I go D-Mod here, which he didn't expect, I guess. But D-Mod is gonna force him out because then I go Souls. So he's gonna do this. I'm gonna go Gaze, and then if he chains another one, I just go Cartesia to fuse, and then go Granganol, and this is full combo. And GG. I also have a battle phase here. So it triggers the Lords of the Heavenly Prison. Then we can shuffle back his Ray in the grave, I think, with the Archfiend. Actually, he doesn't even have a Ray in the grave, I think. So there's nothing to shuffle back with the Archfiend anyway. And he just loses here. There's not much he can do. Alright, let's watch Sky Strikers again. Draw phase, Curtain. Then we're gonna activate the Grifo on the draw phase as well to play on Joel, which he doesn't have, but he does have an Ogre. So we're gonna go dump the Archfiend, and then we can add a Black Chaos. Go Ritual Flight in Dark, add back. Summon Black Chaos. I actually did not want to commit in case, because I felt a toggle and I thought he had like something else. So I go Celtic Mystic, and then I go for this and go for a Chaos Angel play. Now I was thinking, should I activate Archfiend? I think the answer was no, because actually, no, never mind. This is still the correct play, because I was setting Spell Shattering Swords with a Skull Dragon instead of Chaos Hats, because if I summon the Skull Dragon in the end phase, Chaos Hats would be live, but Chaos Hats is not good against Sky Strikers because most of their cards, except like Engage, they're all quick play spells, which you can't Chaos Hats. But Spell Shattering Sword can actually negate his 0 if he uses the first effect, in case he needs it, right? So end phase, go Skull Dragon, dump the Ritual Spell, set a Shattering, and then onto. He actually draws into a play. That's quite insane, but okay. So he's immediately in the Anchor because he thinks I have nothing to spin back and I actually need to search. And it's a draw phase. This is why I actually didn't use this to place another Mind Shuffle, because I thought in the case where he has something that is going to be negating, most likely like FNV or something. I wasn't thinking this Sky Striker, I didn't really know what he was playing. But FNV immediately on this would be very bad. So I was actually not even going to activate this, I was just going to wait. Because then if he activates anything, I can spin back, and then if he chains FNV, I spin back this, some Black Chaos. Then I'm safe and I can search. So this guy actually had Ogre as well. So we can actually spin this back to protect from Ogre, but then he also has FNV. So he had to use 3 cards to out the Mind Shuffle. Isn't that insane? Yeah, I think Black Skull Dragon is just really, really good. Like you can see, we wouldn't have had access to this play. We would have probably lost just to like Ogre. So he's gonna go Ray, which is fine, and then he goes 0. I was thinking, why didn't he activate the effect to add, which I was ready to negate, because the negate is live. I do have the Ritual Spell engraved. The only explanation I had was he already had an engage in the hand. And he had 2 spells here, but he still had engage, is what I thought. So I was like, you know what? I'll keep this face down, and then if he wants to pop it with a 0, it's gonna trigger to pop the engage. This can't be popped because you have to use a spell or trap to get rid of this. It's unaffected at the moment. And then if he adds, I go draw. So he actually pops, and I'm gonna pop the card in hand, which actually turned out to be an Iker, not a engage. Then he goes Camellia, dump the engage, goes add back engage, and then activates engage, adds 1, and then draws 1. We go draw, and we win, basically. GG. There's nothing you can do here. There's no lethal line, you already use 0. And then you can set F and B, which is whatever. This gets super checked here. Also, we top deck Albaz, which is insane. We summon the Swordman, banish 2. Goes pop the Chaos Angel, we banish his back row. Now I actually keep this on the field so Ray doesn't trigger, and then I can shuffle back the Ray with the Archfiend. Now my Archfiend is banished by the Zeke, but I can get another one here. We go Ritual Spell, add back Grifo. Set Mind Shuffle, add the Archfiend, discard it, add Black Chaos. And then we can activate Archfiend first. Shuffle back all of these, including my Archfiend. Now he has nothing to trigger here. 0 interruptions. And I have a lethal line. So we're gonna go dump the Pharah, and then we can also add Pharah back. Like, it's just game over here. We go Anima on this zone, suck him up. And then we can go Ritual Flight in Dark, banish the Grateful, add back, banish the Rose. We also have Curtain now. We can just stack for game, there's no reason to be M. And then in the side deck, he just like scoops. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I think this deck is really, really good. And Victim Sanct is like insanely powerful in this deck. I do think it belongs here. But this is only for this build where you play Fallen of White. If you play a build without this, then you know this is like you can play the Link 5. There's lots of other stuff. Medicurious maybe. You don't necessarily need it, but I think like this build is good at the moment. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will catch you guys in the next one.